Old age had caught up to America's team by the time Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys in 1989.
We must win. We will win. Win is the name of the game.
I'm praying that the world changes soon. Can get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me tooed. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool.
Welcome to the Red Pill Sports and Entertainment Show. I am your host, Albert Apache. And as usual, brought to you by Open Source, Self-Defense, Fitness, and Grappling. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's show. So this is part 3 of 4 of what the Dallas Cowboys need to do to make Dak Prescott a Super Bowl winning or a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Now, the biggest thing that needs to happen is that Jerry Jones needs to be the guy. Will he actually do what needs to be done? Because we covered that in the last video concerning Dak. We covered what needed to be done. Essentially, I said that the defense needs to be strengthened and become essentially an A+ defense, dominant defense, that they need a very strong running game to essentially prop up Dak Prescott on the offensive side and no longer ask Dak to be this gunslinging type of quarterback. Now, the question is, will Jerry Jones do that? Will Jerry Jones actually do what needs to be done? Well, quite honestly, the short answer is no. Jerry Jones is not going to do that. And let's talk about why Jerry Jones will not change course. It's because it's hard to argue with the success that Jerry Jones has had as a GM and an owner. I mean, as a GM, of course, you have the dynasty years in the 90s. And then even after the split from Jimmy Johnson in the following years, right? He went to a NFC championship game and the team also went on to win a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson. So essentially, the thing is that Jerry Jones is a victim of his own success. Since 2010, the Cowboys have drafted the second most Pro Bowl players. If this was any other GM, in the NFL, people would think that this guy was amazing and they would be fighting to essentially hire him, waiting for the Cowboys to let him go to hire this guy. They've made 12 of the last 27 seasons, they've made the playoffs. That's almost 50%. So, there's a lot of success there for the Dallas Cowboys. The problem is that they're not going past the first round, right? Tony Romo had a win. The Tony Romo Cowboys had a win in the first round, and the Dak led Cowboys have had a win in the first round. You got to also look at the fact that, as a GM, Jerry Jones signed a Pro Bowl quarterback that didn't even get drafted in Tony Romo. That's a huge feather in his cap. If you don't think that he doesn't pat himself on the back, if he doesn't strut around thinking about what a great GM he was to sign a guy that every other team missed on, you're kidding yourself. That is a huge feather in his cap, in his mind. And even if we go to Dak Prescott, again, he drafted another Pro Bowl quarterback in the 4th round. These are quarterbacks. Quarterback is by far probably the most analyzed position in the NFL. It is probably the most analyzed position when it comes to draft. And yet, 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks slipped through the fingers of everybody else but Jerry Jones. In his mind, this is the way Jerry sees it. Everybody else didn't see these guys, but I saw these guys. So there is some validity that Jerry Jones has as far as being a very intelligent football guy. The problem with Jerry And where we run into the problem and why he will not go away from this is he wants Dak to essentially be a gunslinger on par with Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Kurt Warner. Okay, these gunslinger type quarterbacks that were known for leading their team via the pass to dominate football games. That's what he's looking for. And he continues to structure the team that way. And not only does he continue to structure the team that way, he also pressures the coaches that he hires to game plan that way. So in short, will Jerry Jones actually do what he should do to make Dak Prescott a Super Bowl winning quarterback, or at least a quarterback that is leading a team to a Super Bowl? I highly doubt it. Now, that's not to say that he could not possibly go scorched earth. The word is that this last playoff debacle, because it was a debacle. I mean, I think Dak had a quarterback rating of under 40. That's pathetic. Jimmy Garoppolo with a messed up thumb, and the thumb is pretty important on your throwing hand, had a better QBR than Dak Prescott. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So there is some talk that Jerry Jones may make some massive moves. I hope that he does. I really hope that he does. And that's what part 4 is going to be about. What I think Jerry Jones should do to get the Cowboys to the next Super Bowl. Because here's the reality. Besides the Patriots, you really have no team that has won multiple Super Bowls in the past decade or so. Pretty much every team has been a one and done type of team. Maybe you could say the Steelers, they've gotten a couple in the past 15 years, I think it's been. So, but besides those two teams, I think the Giants had their little run where they got to 2 Super Bowls. But really, all in all, it's getting that first one again. So what does Jerry Jones need to do to get to the next Super Bowl? And what do I think the Dallas Cowboys need to do? That's what we'll cover in part 4 of 4. Probably won't be as exciting because it's just going to be me giving my opinion. But, I do think Jerry does get undersold a lot on having a lot of very legitimate football IQ. I mean, you cannot argue with the fact that, he has drafted some amazing talent. As an owner, he has done a fantastic job marketing the Cowboys. They are, I believe, still the second most valuable sports franchise behind the New York Yankees. When you think American football around the world, the Dallas Cowboys is what people think of. The fact that AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, the Death Star, whatever you want to call it, that's a flagship stadium. It turned the page on stadiums. It really did. You would not have the Allegiant Stadium if it was not for Jerry World. You would not have SoFi Stadium if it was not for Jerry World. So as an owner, I think that he also has shown a very high football IQ. And I think this is part of the problem, is that Jerry has had so much success as an owner, as a GM, that his pseudo coaching of the Dallas Cowboys, you can't convince him that he's wrong. And he can't grasp the fact that he could be wrong about the talent he's putting on the field. Okay, guys, that's what I got. Part 4 will be coming up hopefully in a week or so, maybe 2. There's some other things I want to cover. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Remember, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I try to get to every comment if I can, and I really do appreciate it. Helps the channel to grow. Remember, the goal is 1,000 subscribers by 4th of July, so we can do some live stuff on the mobile. It'd be great. So please help a brother out. And that's all I got. So until next time, remember, be practical, be purposeful, get fit with a purpose, guys.
Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me too. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.